Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inspiring Conversations with Kathy and Suzanne. I'm Suzanne Ecker, and I'm based in Colorado, and I'm here with Kathy again, who is in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin.
Very good.
I finally got the way to say it.
Mhm.
So it's taken me a bit, but sounds like a lovely place to live from what Kathy's told me.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. So today's conversation is called Learning is Transformational, How to Unlock Your Best Self. And so I'm going to let Kathy tell a little bit more about that in detail, but we want to welcome you if you're watching us live with us. Those of you who have joined us, welcome. And also those who are watching the recorded video of this call, welcome, and we're glad that you've invested the time to be with us because we know your time is valuable. So I want to open up about how learning is transformational. And I want to tell you about a workshop I was in this last weekend. I'm in the Colorado AMTA chapter and I'm a board member. I serve as a delegate for the chapter, and we hosted our fall event, which starts with the board meeting on Friday, and then the education was on Saturday and Sunday. And I have to tell you, I was a little resistant about the education myself, but it turned out to be just a lovely workshop. And what I learned most was that not only can I use the content that was taught, of course, I found it to be incredibly inspiring because it was a class by Troy Levine, who used to be in Colorado but now is based out of Canada, and he put together this sensory approach to rehabilitation and helping clients get out of pain. And that's not the title of it, so that's why I was resistant, because I feel the title should be different, and I think he's going to change the title. But it's all on manual therapy, so it does apply to what I do. Applies to all of us when we work with clients, but I didn't think so at first. But I was really amazed at how much it filled me up. I haven't taken a course in person for a while, and I just found it great to be among my colleagues. I met new people. It was an opportunity to learn about what everyone else is doing, a chance to see old faces I haven't seen since pre-pandemic. I mean, it was a really great experience. I really did leave feeling fulfilled and happy. So I want to encourage those who want to just do online education to think about that a little bit. And you don't have to feel badly about only wanting to do online. I just feel that as human beings, we're interactive. And in this learning environment, we can't get that through a computer. So I just want you to ponder that and think about how could you feel more fulfilled in your journey in this profession, and consider reattending classes in person. I just want to let you know that for someone who hasn't been in person for a while, it was very fulfilling, and I want to share that with you. Mm-hmm. So that's my introduction to what we're going to talk about, but Kathy has much more to share. So Kathy, can you tell us more about this topic and your approach to it?
Yeah, thanks, Suzanne. I love this topic, but before we get into what I'd like to share, I'm curious about your share. Thank you. I'm watching you, and you're glowing. I shared that before we even got on camera. Besides the knowledge, besides the connection with colleagues, old friends, new friends, what was it? What was it? It was a manual course. It was a hands-on course. But was there anything that the unexpected, I guess, that you mentioned? you know?
Well,
For
I
you.
think, yeah, for me, I feel like I work in the same manner as what was taught. And that's based on the training I've had in my career in orthopedic and rehabilitation, sports massage. But this was a new take. It was what I found was that prior to attending, I was pretty closed off and I was like, no, I don't need to take that. I'll just see what it's about. And I was there for the weekend and I was surprised. I learned a lot about the research that's out there, um, and things that he has assembled from different areas and different types of professions to bring this all together for us. So it was really more, it challenged me in my brain, in my body,
Mhm.
and it was a lot more engaging than I thought it would be. And I was surprised by that.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was very affirming because many of the things
Yes.
that you practice already, it was very affirming. But there was a part of you as I listened to you that really um, opened your heart. It opened you up,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that's what I really got from you. It opened you
Mm-hmm.
in a way that was surprising.
Right.
And um, that kind of leads me into really our topic today. Because I wasn't planning on starting here, but I'm going to, if I can find it in my notes.
I threw it up. I threw it in there for you to
Yeah,
challenge you, I
really.
guess.
Um, Arrogance of the mind. I picked that up years ago. Okay. And again, this isn't where I plan to begin, but I'm going to because it just really bridges, Suzanne, what you just shared into what I'll be sharing a little bit today. The arrogance of the mind is, I know, I know, I know. And I know I say that sometimes, and it drives me crazy, right? Because we really don't know if our life doesn't reflect it. Period. Period. So, Kath, why are you sharing this? Because as I said, it's a wonderful bridge from Suzanne, which you shared, into what we're talking about today. What is transformational learning? And what is arrogance of the mind? And you could have gone there, Suzanne. You could have sat in class with the arrogance of I know. And instead, you put it aside, it sounded like, and opened yourself up. And it's like, wow, wow, what a weekend of inspiration, of challenge, of many other things. And so I hope and I trust our audience is listening because this perhaps is a good beginning, is to pay attention to our own arrogance of our own mind, because then we don't learn anything and we never grow and heal and transform, even with the best book in our hands or the best class or a really great teacher. So thank you for sharing that without really even
Yeah.
knowing it.
Right.
Yeah, that was really good. That was really cool. So as Suzanne and I were talking about, what we really want to share in our inspiring conversations, this topic came up probably months ago, and we're finally here in October and sharing about what is transformational learning. For those of you that have been following us for a while, you know that our new business dimensions, our platform is 5 dimensions. And I'll go through it just briefly later as I talk more about transformational learning. But both Suzanne and I, even though it's business, ethics, we come from a place of transformational learning because success is an inner journey. Whether it's business success, private practice success, right? Practicing from your best self, whatever it is, success is an inner journey. And Suzanne and I have, this is one of our main goals in our heart and mind as we work with you, teach, mentor, is inspire you into action. And that's what I heard you say too. You were inspired into action, Suzanne, over the weekend, even though it was a knowledge-based manual kind of class. Everything can be transformational learning because everywhere we go, there we are. Right? Yes. And knowledge alone does not change us. And that's a fundamental truth. Knowledge, that cognitive knowing. Why do people spend 10, 20 years in therapy? They know their past by heart, but why can't they move forward? Right? You see. I found this many, many years ago, and I love this. To educate means to induce, develop, or draw from within. And I'm going to repeat that. To educate means to induce, kind of invite you into action, develop, or draw from within. And that's exactly, Suzanne, what we do through our education platform, our continuing education platform. What is transformational learning? It's a terrain of personal development and transformation. That's really what it is, no matter what topic it is. It's experiential knowledge. You mentioned that when you shared. We have cognitive, we have the conscious mind, right? The cognitive, logical mind, right? We all, how should I say, showed up with that in anatomy class or whatever class we took, right, in the beginning of our professional career. And then we have a subconscious mind, which is really our heart. If the knowledge, the information does not drop in, no change really occurs. And that's just a truth statement. It's a fact. It's just the way life works. I look around my office, I've got shelves of books. And most of them are on spirituality, self-growth, development, all of that. And I often say to myself, if I would practice everything that I've read, I probably wouldn't be here because I'm so awakened. I don't know how all that works, but you know what I'm talking about, right? So transformational learning must be embodied, not just intellectual knowledge. And it invites change. And I heard you say that too, Suzanne. Somehow, some way, it invited you a shift, even in your perception of education, particularly that weekend. It was so interesting to listen to you because it was just really mirrored all what we're talking about today. And so that arrogant mind just doesn't work when we want to learn something, whether it's old or new, because one of the ways we change is through repetition. We developed ourselves through repetition, right? Our developmental years up to age 7, repetition, repetition, repetition. And here we are. And how do we change? Through repetition of something new. And that's really, Suzanne, what we do also in our teaching. And I'll finish with this, and then I'm going to ask you a question, Suzanne. Transformation really occurs, transformational learning really occurs when what we know lands in our heart and then is expressed out as continuous repetitive action. That's really what it is. And I remember years ago when I found out that ethics was my topic to teach. And I remember hearing from people, oh, ethics, it's so boring. I've been around the profession for 5 years. I know what to do, right? I know the code. If I don't, I'll look it up. And it went on. And I'm thinking to myself, without really knowing too much back then, I'm thinking, this doesn't sound right. Because you don't know. I don't know. Right. And so the whole journey of ethics for me and my approach to it is really transformational. It's a study of self. Study of self. So, Suzanne, I'm going to put you on the spot here because you start off with dimension 1 in business, because together we create an emotional space in the classroom, don't we? Besides just teaching the fundamentals of business or marketing or whatever you teach, right? You create an emotional space in the classroom, correct? For your students. Why do you do that? Why is transformation? Why is, well, yeah, part of your business teaching?
Well, transformation is emotional journey. We inhabit emotion in everything. So when you're learning how to do marketing, it's really not about putting an ad out. It's about expressing who you are. And I think oftentimes we get going, as new therapists, we get into the field, we do, but we're not being all the time. And it's when you're being with clients and you're being in your craft that you feel that there's something more. And that can spark that learning desire to grow into something else. So say, for an example, someone works for someone else and they feel it's time to move on. It's really important first to listen to that and not wait for it for another year or two, because that is where that you're ready to transform into a new role. And then I acknowledge too how it's full. I mean, I don't want to say that. It can bring out the fear in us. And because it is any new information that you need to learn to do something is all in your head. I mean, if you use your brain for that. We're used to being in the body. We're used to working on the body. We're not really in our head a lot, but you do have to create and really exercise the brain muscle to learn the content, implement what you learn, but also to just give yourself the confidence, through practicing. So it's all interrelated to an emotional drive, a desire to do better, whether it's have more money, have a better house, do more vacations, pay for your kids' school or whatever it is. That's your motivation, that's your emotion, and that's how you really get to that point where you need to look at other things and start to learn more and transform.
Nothing moves within us until we move within us. And you mentioned one word, fear. Listening to you, I remember when I first started out in this profession, and 32 years ago. And I wasn't a business person. I really didn't know. I was married to one, but I didn't know that much. And I was really scared of my own shadow. That's kind of what I say to share with my students. I was scared of my own shadow. I was so scared to ask my client for the next appointment. I was so scared to go out and market and sell myself, right? That I had something of value to offer you. I mean, it was like I was trapped in fear. I had business books, how to market, how to network, right? Did I read them? Yeah. I thought, wow, this is going to be great. I'll learn how to do it. No way. It was great information and knowledge, but it didn't really move me because I was trapped. I was behind my own paradigms, my own limits of mind that you mentioned. And in order to take my knowledge into action and create the results that I wanted, which I have done, and I say that humbly and with deep gratitude, it wasn't what I knew. It was my own inner development that took what I knew and put it into action. Was it always easy? Are you kidding me? Anybody that's in this profession as a private practice person, an entrepreneur type knows the journey isn't always easy. It's easier to just show up for work and do it. Nothing wrong with that at all. But if one wants to really be in private practice, become an entrepreneur successful, it's an inner journey. And as you said, that's what you weave into your business teaching. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a must, isn't it, Suzanne?
Yeah.
I mean, how did you get to where you are today? It wasn't just knowledge, right?
No, I had to get uncomfortable.
That's yeah.
I had to get used to being uncomfortable because I had to present information, and I that included, like, I can present research and facts about massage therapy, but it has nothing, people want to know about me and how I got to where I am. They want to know my story. And I have one module in my course that's all we do is talk about how to find out your story, how to tell your story, and and that is your branding. So it's simple, but you also have to have someone, ask the questions,
I hope everybody heard what you just said. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but I am. Can you repeat that about story and branding? That was brilliant.
Yes. So really what people want to know about how you're different. I mean, that's really, there is no competition here, but how you're different is your story and how you came to become a massage therapist or holistic practitioner, whatever you do. It's about that journey that took you there. And people, I think we seek that out in any kind of service or advice we get from someone is, what is your story and why are you doing this? Even if it's a plumber,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, why did you choose this? I think we put stock in people because we have to have faith in them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you express your story, it is your branding. And if you're putting out ads, just your name, your business name is not going to get anything. You have to show who you are. So it's a real important part of your success.
Great teaching. Yeah. Great teaching. And I love what you said about being uncomfortable. If one is not willing to be uncomfortable, it ain't going to work, bottom line, pretty much, right? I remember years ago, back, when the Olympics, everybody watched the Olympics, right, on TV.
Yeah.
The bronze medal, the silver and the gold, and they'd stand up on their podiums. And I remember this vividly as a young girl. Everybody in the room is clapping, oh, he got the gold medal or whatever. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's really good. But to me, what I wanted to know was their story. How did you do it? What's your grit? How did you move through that uncomfortable, all those uncomfortable days of doubt, of fear, of not wanting to get out of bed, right? Whatever it was. And I guess that has been a common thread for me through my professional and personal life is what got you here. Not so much the studies, the degrees, although I applaud that, but there's so much more. There's so much more. And you hit it on the nail, I think, especially when it comes to business. How comfortable are you at being uncomfortable? And you have a beautiful way of walking people through their discomfort. And I want people to hear that, Suzanne, because if they're not willing, and sometimes we need, and most of the time we need people to help us, to walk us through our own discomfort until we can handle it ourselves, especially in the beginning of this profession, I think, because so many therapists come into this profession wanting to be a massage therapist, right, to help people, but they have no business. And part of Dimension 1, which is your baby, so to speak, is what you teach, is what exactly we're talking about. Transformational learning.
Mm-hmm.
Success is an inner journey, period. So for all of you that are listening out there, understand that what Suzanne offers, what we offer in New Business Dimensions, is totally an inner journey. Right, Suzanne, whether it's business or ethics or self-leadership, correct? Yeah.
Well, right.
And if that doesn't excite you, I don't know what will.
Well, as you said earlier, the ethics word is like, it's so general, but when you are in business, well, even if you're in practice and you're working for someone else and you're building your practice, you have to have, a foundation of ethics. And when you say it's a study of self, when we work with people, we change, we develop, we become better, and we learn from our clients, and that's the transformation. And transformational ethics is part of that. So I just want to show how it interweaves and how you and I got goosebumps, are how we cross over so much in what we teach, that I think it's super valuable to have them presented together. So
we didn't meet by accident, did we, Suzanne?
No, we did not.
Yeah. You mentioned ethics, so may I move into Dimension 2, which is ethics in the context of this topic today of transformational learning. And I'm going to be a little visible here, I guess, with my perception. And I've noticed this for quite a long time in this profession. And it saddens me what our profession as a whole has done to the topic of ethics. It has minimized it to a 2-hour, every 2 years, online, get her done quick kind of study. And I understand it's tempting. It's easy, it's quick, get her done. That is not transformational learning. Unless a seed is planted in your heart, even in that 2-hour online. So I don't want to dismiss that either, totally. Okay, I'm not dismissing online education at all, because I do it. I offer it and I've taken it. But I'm going to go back to your opening statement. The arrogance of the mind or the opening of the heart. And ethics is a topic that can have a lot of arrogance of the mind. But when I see students' heart open and willing to learn and relearn, it's amazing what I see in the classroom. And it thrills me to death that they can sit there for 4 hours or 6 hours in an ethics class and leave with inspiration and a deeper knowing of themselves. That's really what it is, a deeper knowing. Because ethics is what we do. The dynamic of the therapeutic relationship can be very, very, very complex. I mean, think about being in relationship with yourself. That's complex enough. Add another human being who is basically naked. That just adds to the complexity of the dynamics of the relationship. When I teach ethics, I have 2 questions for them in the beginning. Why are you here in class? And maybe on this earth, but I let them decide how they're going to answer that. Why are you here and what would you like to leave with besides your certificate? And usually there's giggles in the room, but they get it. They begin to really get it, that this is going to be perhaps different. And my heart needs to be open for this. So the way I approach ethics is a growth of transformation, of growth and transformation. It's a renewal, and you mentioned this earlier, of the mind, the body, the heart, and the soul. That is transformational learning. So we can continue to grow into our best self, our authentic self. We don't do that by reading a book passively or sitting in a class passively. Years ago, when I took my Hakomi training, which is a body-centered psychotherapy, I went in, it was strictly for body workers. I'll remember I went in with 2 notebooks. One notebook was for the information, right? All the things and techniques I was going to learn in Hakomi. And my second notebook was really the study of it, the teacher, and what I was learning about myself as I was going through the information she was teaching. And Suzanne, sometimes I look back and I think maybe I learned more from that second notebook. I don't want to measure it, but I think about that often, and I use this in my teaching. Transformational learning. So again, weaving in ourself, our heart, our body, our mind, and our soul into all the knowledge we learn, all the information that we share with others. Transformational learning. Dimension 3 is self-leadership. Basically, that's our coaching and mentoring program in course style. We have a separate coaching and mentoring program, but that is a real, how should I say, that demands growth and transformation, because it is about the mindset and facing our fears and feeling uncomfortable and understanding our paradigm box, what keeps us back from really getting what we want in life. And that takes courage. Transformational learning takes courage, because it's really easy just to pass ourselves by in this life and use knowledge as a crutch. Nothing wrong with knowledge, but it can become a crutch of the arrogant mind. And nothing really ever changes or shifts or grows within. So 20 years later, we've got a lot of knowledge, but I'm still the same person I was 20 years ago. What holds us back from doing, from being? That's really our platform, in a way. That's part of the roots. You know, I look at that beautiful tree. I love that tree, and you're right behind you there, you know, and the roots of the tree. Knowing our roots, whether it's business, whether it's ethics, whether it's self-leadership, and for all of you that are teachers out there, whether in curriculum, continuing education, or wannabe teachers, that is also a journey of transformation. Who is the teacher behind the teaching? It's not all about systems of the classroom and many of the things that courses focus on. We have a teacher training, Suzanne, it's Dimension 4. And the question is, who is the teacher behind the teaching? It's an exploration, once again, of self. Because a really great, exceptional massage therapist and technique does not always make a great teacher. What makes a great teacher? I don't know. You got to decide that for yourself. So our teacher training, exploring the inner life of the teacher. So I'm going to stop here, Suzanne, and just take a pause, I guess, and just ask the audience, whether it's now or they look at our recording, is just notice what's landing in your lap right now. What kind of student are you? What kind of teacher are you? How do you learn? What's important for you in your continuing education? We each have to answer those questions ourselves. What gives you the roots? Are you familiar with your arrogant mind? We all have one.
I got to know mine this weekend.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere, but you know.
That's
We're
good.
all human, right?
Yeah, right. And I love that phrase, arrogant mind, the arrogance of the mind. That's so, it just, we all can relate to it. We all can relate to it, you know. And so I'm going to say one statement, then I'll hand it over to you, Suzanne, is I believe that what you and I offer through New Business Dimensions, whether it's business, ethics, self-leadership, our teacher training, our coaching and mentoring, our passion is to inspire, to offer dynamic, engaging, and life-changing learning opportunity for those that wish to journey with us. Yeah. We always must be open to learn. Always. Always. You know, my end of life work has taught me that immensely. Being with people at their last breath never ceases to amaze me. They continue to be a student, even to their last breath. So reflect upon that, huh? Yeah. So, transformational learning, Suzanne. Anything else you'd like to share?
Well, I love this statement. Learning will induce, develop, and draw from within. And if you look at anything in life, that's pretty much what it is. In any situation you're in, you experience something because you want to. You develop in that task or participation. You're really participating in life at that point. And then drawing from within is something took you there to that event that day.
Mhm.
It's in there.
Yes.
It just sometimes takes time for us to realize that every opportunity is where we grow.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's true in business, it's true in practitionership, it's true in relationships, and
Yeah.
it's just everywhere. So think about that too. Like, what did I do this last week that had me induce the action, develop, and what did I draw from within?
Mhm.
So I love that you brought that into this moment, this conversation, because it's an aha moment.
It's an aha moment. Yeah. Yeah. And those aha moments, well, they are what they are, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah. As long as we're awake to notice and feel those aha and let
Mhm.
it go deep within us. Right. What's so aha about it?
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all that, Kathy.
Yeah, you're welcome, Suzanne. I'm going to just share four more things. I'm looking at my
Okay.
notes, and I think this is worth. Um, oh, I think this will be a good closing. Um, Returning to the five dimensions. Okay, the business, the ethics, the self-leadership, our teacher training, and then our mentoring and coaching platform that you and I offer is we do offer intellectual stimulation, correct? I mean, that's part of learning, right?
Mhm.
Intellectual stimulation. We also, through transformational learning, these are kind of some of the qualities or components that we invite our students into is presence, right? Beginning of class, perhaps throughout the class, at the end of class, returning from break, always inviting presence. Self-inquiry. I love self-inquiry. That curiosity, that wonder. Wow, you said something very interesting. It's catching my attention. I wonder, I'm going to stay with this. That self-inquiry, self-awareness. There's a saying too, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I love that saying too. When the
That's good.
student is ready, the teacher appears. And it even is at a sunset. The sunset can be a teacher. The falling leaf can be a teacher. Suzanne, you can be the teacher. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. It doesn't appear in arrogance of the mind, right? Then the third one, I believe that all five dimensions include we inspire passion and motivation and a sense of empowerment. And I believe without those, we don't move much. We don't go far, right? Motivation, passion, and empowerment. And then the last one, and this is, I take this one seriously, I guess, is teacher as role model. I think that's part of our responsibility as teachers, is teacher as role model. And that's part of our teacher training course, is what does that really mean? What do you want your students to see? As I tell my students in my ethics class, especially my continuing education, I'm not up here teaching ethics because I'm more ethical than you. I just happen to have great passion for this topic. And this is what I'm here to teach. So I want to make that very clear to students, part of right use of power and all the other things that teachers must be aware of as they put the role of teacher on. That also is not taught much in this profession. What is the role of a teacher? The systems are taught, and that's very good. But there's a flip side to being a teacher. Just like there's a flip side to being a practitioner, to being an entrepreneur, to being a business person. It's you, it's self, right? Yeah, we can never forget ourselves. Who's teaching, who's massaging, who's learning. And that is transformational learning. And we love what we do, don't we, Suzanne?
We do.
Yeah.
And if I might share, I had a coach who was trying to help me to accept this bright shining part of myself I didn't believe was in there, to transform into teaching. And I was asked to create this teaching because my passion was to help others learn how to run a business or practice. It was a really deep passion. And I said, so why did they ask me? And he said, well, why not you?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I had to sit with that for a while. But I had the experience. I've done it. But mostly I had the passion to teach it. And it comes in different forms for everybody. But if you've ever considered teaching, I hope that you think, why not me?
Yeah. Why not me? And if not now, when?
Right.
That's a good one too, huh? So I like both
Yes.
of them. Why not me? And if not now, when?
Love
Mhm.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank everyone again for
Yes.
being with us today, for viewing this. This will be recorded, right, Suzanne, on our website? Yeah.
And just so you know, if you can't watch the video, if you play it and you're in your car and you have Bluetooth to your car, you can listen to it. So it doesn't have to be where you're viewing it. It will translate to your audio in your car or your headphones or whatever. So don't forget that.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Suzanne's my techie partner. Oh. So, and on our website, we have our courses through December, right? Listed. Still room to sign up. So you can get on our website, newbusinessdimensions.org. And always feel free to reach out. We have these inspiring conversations the second Tuesday of every month. And then our plan for the fourth
Wednesday.
Tuesday, or Wednesday. Did I say Tuesday? Tuesday.
Yes.
Wednesday of each month. And then the fourth Wednesday is a guest speaker sharing their story with us, which is always fun and inspiring to hear. Yeah. So I'll let you close.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us today. It means a lot that you're thinking of yourself and your journey with your what you're here to do. So we'll see you next time on Inspiring Conversations.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.